President Muhammadu Buhari to address the United Nations General Assembly on Friday to push for global vaccine equity. European markets down 1.7%, while Hang Seng Index drops more than 3%, and oil prices drop more than $1 a barrel to below $75 on Monday. Plus, the program takes a look at the soon-to-be launched central bank digital currency, e-Naira. Details of this and more on Business Express on the network service of the NTA. We are reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Let's bring you up to speed with the business development. The permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations, UN, Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande, says Nigeria will join other world leaders to push for global COVID-19 vaccine equity at the ongoing UN General Assembly high-level meetings. Speaking to the news agency of Nigeria in New York, Bande said the issue of equal access to vaccines was paramount at the 76th session of the General Assembly, based on its theme, which is building resilience through hope to recover from COVID-19, rebuild sustainably, respond to the needs of the planet, respect the rights of people, and revitalize the United Nations. He said President Muhammadu Buhari will join others and push for global vaccine equity. The president, who arrived in New York on Sunday, is expected to address the high-level session of the General Assembly on the fourth day of the general debates on Friday, September 24th, when he will speak on the theme of the conference and other global issues. In a bid to further protect investors and deepen the capital markets, the Securities and Exchange Commission has announced that it has commenced the implementation of 100% custody requirement in the collective investment scheme sector. Director General of the SECT, Lamido Yuguda, stated this in an interview in Abuja. The custody requirement covers all funds and portfolios being managed by registered fund and portfolio managers. Yuguda said although it is a natural operational requirement of CIS, the SEC is having some new enforcement and insistence on the compliance that has been in the books but have not been implemented before now. The Director General said the introduction of total custody in that sector is likely to see a massive uptake of these kinds of products. He said with the SEC having 100% custody agreement in the collective investment scheme CIS sector, any investor that invests in the capital market should be confident that their investments are secure, and that it is a good thing for market and an area that can bring about a lot of growth in the market because it offers a very good opportunity to save. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced that account holders in Nigerian banks can, on October 1st, download the e-Naira wallet.
Simply, you have, say, 1 million Naira. Before October 1, let's imagine a bank has, say, about 10 billion Naira in its account. That is physical Naira in its account. We can decide we'll move, say, about, out of the 10 billion, move 2 billion in electronic e-wallet into an e-wallet for the bank. Themselves fund their e-Naira wallets using their bank account or with cash at a registered agent location and conduct transactions such as transfers and purchases at merchants outlets that have onboarded. So if you're a bank customer and you have, say, 10 million naira in the bank, for your comfort of spending and making purchases, you could tell the bank to load 2 million out of your 10 naira into your wallet. So your bank balance sitting in fiscal card drops to 8, while your e-wallet that you carries 2 million naira. With that, you can make purchases both within and out across the country. There are so many variants of the e-naira, but this is where we will start, because we're not going to pretend that there are no risks in opening your system up. We will look at the various products, determine the risk, determine the best way to mitigate the risk, and before we now open it up more and more. But it's a journey that we are determined and we have decided we will start on October 1, 2021.
Well, we have Dr. Zamina Naji. She's the Director of Trade and Exchange Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Together we shall be looking at Nigeria's digital currency, the e-naira. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much.
Okay, first of all, we had the announcement that the e-naira will be coming by 1st October, which coincides with Nigeria's independence anniversary, and the public has been in apprehension. Can you take us through the e-naira? What makes it different from the cryptocurrency?
Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity to educate Nigerians and everybody about the e-naira. E-naira for Nigeria is a good step in the right direction in expanding the payment channels for Nigerians and for the population. It's different from cryptocurrency because e-naira is backed by an issuing authority, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria, by a sovereign country, which is Nigeria, while cryptocurrencies are private monies that is not backed by any access, not backed by any government, and not backed by any authority behind it. But e-naira is backed by the authority and the issuing authority of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the country Nigeria. Thank you very much. Okay,
the central bank says the digital currency will offer enormous opportunities for businesses. How is that?
It will offer enormous opportunities for businesses because it will expand our current payment system and current payment channels. E-naira will be, you can sit in your home and you can pay for products online with an e-naira. You can transfer money to someone in your village, in your next door neighbor, next town in e-naira, as long as the person has a wallet. The person can take that wallet to any shop, any business to purchase or buy whatever he or she needs. It's an affordable, easy, low-cost way of naira. The same naira, low-cost, fast delivery.
Okay, the cryptocurrencies are known for their back and forth issues. How far is the digital currency? I mean, in terms of resilience.
For the central bank digital currency, like we're saying, it's just the same as the physical cash.
Okay.
So it's not open to the variations of the cryptocurrency. I'm sure you know that there was a time cryptocurrency was 10,000 per unit, so 30,000 to 60,000. Now it's back to 20-something, 30,000. So because it doesn't have any backing of authoritarian backing behind it, the fluctuation is very wide and very up and down. But our e-naira, our digital currency, is the same as cash. It's cash that you can take. Has the qualities of all your cash naira that you have in your hands.
Okay, for other countries that have already implemented they have their digital currency, what have the central bank learned from those countries?
Well, digital currency is a new phenomenon. There are a few countries that have implemented this, but about 85 central banks around the world are researching and are wanting to implement digital currency. Nigeria happens to be one of the few first ones. Barbados has implemented. China, of course, have implemented digital currency. Jamaica has implemented. There are lots of some countries that have already implemented digital currency. But the learning so far are good. It has eased payment system. It has eased doing business. It has eased just peer-and-peer transfers. It has eased it. We're still learning. We don't know what all the challenges could be. It's a learning. It's new. And we're all learning together in the process.
But what about if the challenges come up? How do we address this?
The central bank is equipped to do that. We have one of the most efficient and first-class technological department in the central bank. We're ready. We've looked at all the options, all the things that could have gone wrong, and we don't see anything that would not be surmountable by the central bank and by the Nigeria as a country.
Okay, now how does it promote financial inclusion there?
Promotes financial inclusion because, as I said before, you can sit in your house and transfer money to your mother in your village. And he or she can use a USSD and collect his money or collect her money, and then can go to the shops or banks or anywhere else and spend the money on the palm of your phone.
What about somebody in the village?
Yes, somebody in the village can use the currency. Because now, for October 1st, we're starting with people that have internet connection. But before December, we're going to open it up for people with feature phones. So somebody in the village that doesn't have internet can also use our digital currency, because it will work with USSD. And just like you get your text messages, people in the villages get text messages. So just like you get your text messages, you can get your credit on your digital currency. You can also spend your digital currency, and the deduction will be taken in the form of credit deduction from your phones.
Okay, this journey started since 2017.
Yes.
Why did it take that long?
We wanted to study it. We wanted to make sure that it's safe and secure. We wanted to make sure that there's a good case for starting this. Other countries are still studying. I guess we started ahead of others, and we saw that there's a good case for us, good case in terms of financial inclusion, in terms of ease of transaction, in terms of economic growth and transactions, in terms of monetary policy transmission. We see that there's a good case for digital currency. In terms of also the safety and soundness of it, we see that it's a good thing. That's why it took us so long. We thought very hard about it before we started the journey of implementing. It's still a journey.
How would this help the position of Nigeria in the African Continental Free Trade Agreement?
Well, it would ease cross-border payment. If people that are transacting across the continent in African Free Trade Agreement, are they able to load or download our app on the line, then trade can be very easy and very quick and very cheap, because you don't need to go through the banks and intermediary and clearing system to get your goods paid or to pay for goods. It will be a simple transfer from my phone to your phone, credited, received, and transaction can happen. Okay.
But how is it like in terms of affordability? Will transactions be, compared to other physical transactions, will it attract much charges? Or?
The charges, we say, is a low cost. Okay. Charges on the e-Naira are actually lower. We want people to look at e-Naira as a viable option for transaction. Because it's cheap, I said, it's easy, and it's low cost. And that's the selling point of e-Naira. And it will increase financial inclusion, it will increase financial intermediation, it will increase monetary policy intermediation. Because you can see right on real time what's going to what and where it's coming from and where it's going. Real time.
Okay, what about local and international transfers, and also acceptability?
Well, it's as acceptable as our Naira is now. It's cash. It's as good as cash. Wherever our Naira is accepted, the e-Naira will be accepted. So it has the same power, it's at the same power as the cash naira. If an international person comes into the country and will want to transact in e-naira, as long as they are able to have a wallet, they should be able to transact. We're also hoping that it will help our international remittances, that remittance recipients can actually collect their money or in e-naira and be able to spend this e-naira anywhere in the country.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ozemina, right?
Yes.
Naji?
Yes.
Director, Trade and Exchange Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC NBET has set aside 139 billion naira for the payment of electricity generation companies, GENCOs. The government-owned NBET buys electricity in bulk from generation companies through power purchase agreements and sells through vesting contracts to the discos, which then supply to the consumers. The 139 billion naira payment to GENCOs represents about 98% of the 2021 budget of NBET. Stakeholders in the power sector had raised the alarm that the debt which the Nigerian electricity market was owing a private plant had hit 388 billion naira. The 139 billion GENCOs payment, which is contained in the 2021 budget of NBET, added that efforts are on to make the recent audited accounts of the bulk trader public. NBET had in statements released early in September revealed that market receipts remitted by discos in June 2021 amounted to 26.81 billion naira. The Ethiopian airline said on Sunday it will resume flights to Enugu from October 1st, 2 years after it suspended flight to the southeastern state. The airline confirmed the proposed resumption in a statement issued in Lagos on Sunday. It said every week there will be a flight on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, October 1st, and is Nigeria's Independence Day, and the flight to Enugu on that day will reinforce the airline's good relations with Nigeria since the first flight to Nigeria in 1960. The airline stopped flights to Enugu in 2019 when the Nigerian aviation authorities closed the airport to refurbish the runway. Now to energy, oil dropped more than $1 a barrel to below $75 on Monday as rising risk aversion weighed on stock markets and boosted the U.S. dollar, while more U.S. Gulf oil output came back online in the wake of two hurricanes. Brent crude fell 76 cents to $74.58, having dropped as low as $74.26 earlier in the session. U.S. West Texas Intermediate declined 89 cents to $71.08. Brent has gained 44% this year, supported by supply cuts by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and Allies, and some recovery in demand after last year's pandemic-induced collapse. Gold prices hit a more than 5-week low on Monday as the dollar firmed, with markets closely watching a U.S. Federal Reserve meeting for clues on when the central bank will start tapering its pandemic-era stimulus. This is a summary of NGX activities in the week ended with Bossade Abel.
The NGX All Share Index and market capitalization for week ended 17th September appreciated by 0.06% and 0.05% to close the week at 38,943.87 basis points and 20.2 trillion naira. A total turnover of 856.2 million shares worth 10.7 billion naira in 15,663 deals were traded by investors on the floor of the exchange. All other indices finished higher, with the exception of NGX Banking, NGX Insurance, NGX Merry Growth, NGX Consumer Goods, NGX Oil and Gas, and NGX Industrial Goods indices, which depreciated by 0.79%, 0.58%, 0.12%, 0.21%, 3.35% and 0.24%, while the NGX ASM, NGX Growth, and NGX Sovereign Bond indices closed flat. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 583 million shares valued at 3.9 billion naira traded in 7,894 deals. The consumer goods industry followed with 62.9 million shares worth 3.1 billion naira in 2,579 deals. The third place was the ICT industry with a turnover of 45.7 million shares. Trading in the top three equities were Access Bank, Universal Insurance, and Wema Bank. They jointly accounted for 211.1 million shares worth 789.8 million naira in 1,403 deals. A total of 106,810 units of exchange-traded product TTPs valued at 1.8 million naira were traded in 21 deals, as well as a total of 51,261 units of federal government bonds valued at 52.9 million naira were traded in 26 deals. At the end of the week's transaction, 21 equities appreciated in price, 38 equities depreciated in price, while 96 equities remained unchanged. Boss Ebo, Business Express.
Well, meanwhile, the NGX stock market opened the week at red. The all-share index declined 0.1% to close at 38,906.42 basis points. Let's join Enugu for more on markets around the globe.
Hello and welcome to Global Markets. Global markets skidded and the dollar firmed on Monday ahead of a week packed with global central bank meetings. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index led losses among Asia-Pacific markets in Monday trade, with stocks of embattled Chinese developer China Evergrande Group continuing to sink. The Hang Seng Index dropped 3.3% to close at 24,099.14, while markets in China, Japan, and South Korea were closed for public holidays. European stocks plunged lower on Monday, with energy and mining stocks tumbling. Germany DAX dropped 2.21%, London's FTSE depreciated 1.61%, while CAC 40 of France also dropped 2.23% to lead losses. U.S. equities began the week deeply in the red as investors continued to move to the sidelines in September amid several emerging risks for the market. African markets did not fare better either, as most stocks started the week with slight losses, with the exception of Kenya's Nairobi All-Share and Ghana's GSE Composite, which posted gains of 1.24% and 0.41%. And that's Global Markets. It's back to the presenter.
Well, that's it. Business Express returns Tuesday by 9:30 a.m. I am Musa Abubakar saying keep thinking and doing business.